Your Excellency, therefore, the matter before us is how can Africa build energy infrastructure, including LNG infrastructure, at a scale and pace which is commensurate with our state of development today and where we want to go tomorrow. And therefore, we have a dual responsibility of making sure that we provide access to reliable, affordable energy, while at the same time having low emissions in terms of environmental protection. It is therefore possible to utilize the significant resources that Africa has, including LNG resources, if we collaborate with one another. Just to give an example of the power evacuation program that we are running between Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, which has a capacity of evacuating 2,000 megawatts, but at the moment is evacuating 800 megawatts of power from Ethiopia, 700 megawatts into Kenya, 100 megawatts into Tanzania. And I think those are some of the areas which we need to work on and expand, because the capacity is there and the physical infrastructure is already in place. We need reliable, affordable energy, which is also accessible to as many of our citizens as possible. We therefore need a backbone a source of energy and enough infrastructure to convey that energy to reach people's homes and to power industries. I don't want to repeat the statistics that have been given about the potential, the energy potential in our continent, including potential on natural gas. We have adequate, significant stocks of natural gas spread across our continent, from Nigeria, Senegal, Algeria, Mozambique, Tanzania, and many more other countries, I believe. But the challenge we have is how to provide major energy infrastructure projects, which normally take a lot of time, require a lot of technical expertise, and also are costly to be able to industrialize. Many scholars and policymakers have cited the fact that Africa's arable land, mineral wealth, including natural gas, a good population, as drivers of Africa's future. The only thing I want to add, even as I go into energy projects, is that Africa needs to build confidence in itself. Africans, we must learn to have confidence in our continent and in our capability to do what others have been able to do. The biggest threat today to Africa's development is policy disruption, which is an unintended consequence of democracy. The movement from one administration to another, which is a good thing, because democracy is a good thing. But we must find ways of insulating our development agenda from democratic transitions so that we can have continuity. And that is the discussion we're having in Kenya, generally. We have heard what President Samia has done in Tanzania, what President Ruto is doing in Kenya, and I'm sure many of our countries, our leaders are doing their best. But how do we assure that what the projects and the programs and the policy framework in place today will be in place 20, 30, 40, 50 years, so that as we do these things, we are looking at taking Africa from where we are today into the first world, because it is possible. Others have done it, Africa can do it. But if we are going to have disruptions every time there's an election, every time there is a succession from one administration to another, then that is going to be a big bottleneck. So consistency, continuity, and stability is a very key enabler of these wonderful objectives around infrastructure. We have also learned about the power of regional trade and cross-border infrastructure, which has been alluded to by some of the previous speakers. And we need to organize ourselves. In this space around LNG, for example, the pipeline from Mozambique, Tanzania, I see no reason why it should not extend to Kenya, up the coast, and it can go to the other directions as well, so that we can share not only we can share in the economies of scale and be able to leverage on our various strengths.
Tanzania is investing in a secure and diversified energy sector through hydropower, renewable energy, and natural gas. The Julius Nyerere Hydropower Station and investment in other clean energy sources is strengthening energy security and supporting industrial development. With the continued discovery of natural or proven natural gas reserves, Tanzania is well positioned to contribute to regional energy security while promoting value addition, manufacturing, and economic diversification. We also recognize that Africa's energy future depends on stronger regional cooperation, cross-border transmission, networks, and regional power pools that will enhance energy security, reduce costs, and provide reliable power to support our growing economies. And my brother Kindiki has explained very nicely our East African pool, but we also have the Southern African power pool, which also provide electricity, reliable electricity to our countries. Excellencies and distinguished participants, as for us, Tanzania, our infrastructure transformation is guided by the Tanzanian Development Vision 2050 for the 25 years to come, whose implementation commenced last month, July this year. The vision spells out our ambition to build a competitive, industrialized, and inclusive economy driven by innovation, human capital, sustainable development, and modern infrastructure. Recognizing that this transformation cannot be achieved by the government alone, our 25 years journey to 2050 places the private sector at the center of economic growth, with ambition that 70% of economic contribution will be driven by the private sector, locally and global private sector. Our role as the government is therefore to create a predictable investment climate, deliver strategic public infrastructure, and build partnership that unlock private sector capital, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Over the past years, Tanzania has undertaken ambitious infrastructure development programs in our history. We have expanded and modernized the port of Dar es Salaam, enhancing its efficiency and strengthening its role as a regional trade and logistic hub. We are advancing the standard gauge railway to improve connectivity, reduce transport costs, and facilitate trade with neighboring countries. And we also investing in strategic roads, network, bridges, logistic corridors, and modern airports, so as to strengthen national, regional, and global connectivity.